We're at Rugby Expo 2012 with England International World Cup winner Lawrence Dallaglio. Lawrence, you're here to talk about rugby, of course, but perhaps more importantly to you, you're here with an exhibition booth for the Dallaglio Foundation. Tell us a little bit about how this foundation came about and what its aims and objectives are.
Well, I initially set up the foundation after my mother passed away in 2009 to cancer, and the focus was really initially around raising money and awareness around specific cancer projects. But in the last 2 years, I've moved the strategy and the objectives of the foundation towards youth development, and really being able to give young people a chance in life and give them a support network, and that's what the foundation does. We've launched a rugby program, the Dallaglio Foundation Rugby Program, which has many different levels to it really. We have a scholarship program that brings in much needed funds to help already very talented young identified children, maybe from 16 onwards, and put them in environments that are going to help their talents to flourish. So we just awarded 4 scholarships this year. One young lad has gone to a Millfield school, been taken out of a comprehensive school in Bristol. We put one young lad at Harrow, Shaquille, under 16 fullback. We put another young lad at RGSI Wickham, and hopefully that's a mentoring process, not only for the next 2 years, but through the rest of their development. And it would be wonderful to see some of those young boys, going on and playing rugby for England at the highest level, or Scotland, or Wales, or Ireland. So that's the kind of that's one level. We've got a programme where I've partnered with the Duke of Edinburgh charity, which is obviously putting that accreditation, that award. We plan to roll the Duke of Edinburgh into 6 of the Premiership rugby clubs and make them centres of excellence, so that kids in the community around those rugby clubs can go in and get that Duke of Edinburgh award and study for that, and that's another fantastic opportunity at lots of levels. And then the last one really is working with young, disadvantaged children who, through no fault of their own, maybe have been born into difficult circumstances, maybe ended up in trouble, pupil referral units, exclusion units, and that programme is called Dallaglio Rugby for Change, and we are working in 4 London boroughs at the moment. The plan is to work in 8 London boroughs by the end of the year and the beginning of next year, and then hopefully roll that out as a national programme. And really this is not going to get people playing rugby at the highest level like the scholarship programme, but what it's going to do is get young children who are perhaps starting to make the wrong life choices, just to give them opportunities and understanding about making the right decisions in life. And I think it has a huge social impact, and ultimately with the aim of getting them back into employment, raising their self-esteem, raising their self-confidence. And my ambition really is to, wouldn't it be great as we approach 2015 to have a street World Cup that runs in parallel with the Rugby World Cup. I've developed a game which is a 4-a-side game of rugby. We've got 15s, we've got 7s, but for a lot of people, especially people who don't understand rugby, it's very difficult to go in and explain that kind of thing. So we've created a 4-a-side game, rugby 4s, 4 minutes each way, 4 rules, 4-a-side, and very simple to go and, you only need a very small space to go and play it, and it seems to have picked up incredibly well, very well received, and I'd love to run that Street World Cup as we build towards 2015. So other than that, that's the direction of the foundation really. It's working with young people, it's giving them a support system. My parents gave me a support system. You are what you're exposed to in life, both good and bad. If you're exposed to good things and you're given opportunities, then I think as human beings we can make the right choices and move on in our lives. Similarly, if you have bad situations where you're exposed to difficult things, you end up making the wrong life choices. So the Dallaglio Foundation is looking to help people in many different ways.
That's great, and it's good to have the foundation here at Rugby Expo. What sort of experience has this been for you and your colleagues who are here?
Well, this is our first experience at Rugby Expo, and clearly it's getting bigger and bigger all the time. Some interesting speakers over the 2-day period, talking about all sorts of areas of the game, right from the top end, the professional game, right the way down to the grassroots as well. So it's great for us to be amongst the community, amongst the rugby industry, talking to people, making people aware of us, and indeed the Dallaglio Foundation becoming aware of some of the other things going on within rugby at all levels. So it's been really good.
Lawrence, thanks very much.